consistently.
So now Al Unser Jr. trying to move on second place Scott Pruitt. Of course, both the first and second place cars should be about 8 laps away from their first scheduled stop of the day. They've obtained these positions because they stayed out during the yellow flag. So the round continues here in Long Beach. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Toyota Grand Prix at Long Beach. That's Brian Herta. He just climbed out of this car, got into the tire barrier. It brought out the full course caution. Here's how he got into the tire barrier from on board his camera. That corner's coming up. Oh, just
Whoa.
the outside. Whoa.
You were told that he had the pole last week at Phoenix.
All right, no, as a result of that, we went to full course yellow. The leader, Teo Fabi, came into the pits. So did second place Scott Pruitt. But if we can pull both of our pit guys, Jack Arute was in Scott Pruitt's pit, who had a problem, and at the same time, Gilles de Ferran, who had the problem with Paul Tracy, is with Gary Gerould. Let's go to Gary first.
Gilles, can you tell us what happened in the contact with Paul Tracy?
Oh, it was a shame first what happened. I passed Paul on the traffic situation here coming out of the hairpin, and he tried to get back to me on a very tight part of the circuit, and really there wasn't enough room for the two of us. As I saw it, it was a risky maneuver, but it was a shame, really. We were running well, and I was hopeful for a top 6 finish. I was just biding my time and trying to protect my position.
We appreciate a couple moments of your time. Better luck in the races ahead. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Let's go to Jack.
Well, Gary, it was a gamble for Pat Patrick and his Firestone shod car, but it kind of went up in smoke during that full course caution. A lengthy pit stop. What happened, Pat?
We had a loose brake line, Jack, and it took us a little longer in the pits than we liked, but it's okay now, and the car's fine.
Better to have it, guys, happen under caution than under green, though.
Well, Teo Fabi had a good stop in and out, but still fell to 14th position. Al Unser Jr. is back at the head of the race. And look at Alessandro Zampedri now sits in second, but he's not stopped. We're back at the Toyota Grand Prix at Long Beach. Alessandro Zampedri fell out of the top 10 when he made a pit stop under this full course yellow. You're looking down on this circuit. Look at that gigantic crowd. Aerial shots are courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Eagle, based in Carson, California. Today's pilot is Joel Chamberlain from Norwood, Massachusetts. So we're still under the full course caution. Saturday on ABC Sports, the Professional Bowlers Tour heads north to Canada for the IOF Foresters Open. Then on ABC's Wide World of Sports, Christy Yamaguchi and Victor Petrenko and a galaxy of skating stars take the ice in special performances. It's the grand finale of the Fresh Look World Challenge of Champions. Plus, NASDAQ presents the Wood Memorial Invitational. That's all coming up next Saturday right here on ABC's Wide World of Sports. On board, Robbie Gordon. He sits in 11th place, the winner of last week's race. But he's been steadily moving up. There's the breakdown. Almost half this race has been run under the yellow. 3 different yellow periods.
This morning I came out of my room where we stay here at the hotel, and I got a tap on my shoulder. Somebody ran by me on down the hall. It was Robbie Gordon, 7 o'clock in the morning, bursting with energy. And I said, well, what are your prospects in the race? I mean, we know that he won, of course, last week at Phoenix. He said, well, I'm having a lot of traction problems with the car. Can't get off the tight turns fast enough. So that's a problem he's having, but he seems to have worked his way well up.
You got the tap from Robbie.
Cool. He has so much energy. Did you see him when he got out of the car last week at Phoenix? After 2 hours of driving, wasn't even tired.
We call that youth, Sam. He's younger than we are.
We don't know much about that anymore, do we, Bobby?
All right, as we get ready to go back to green flag racing, Al Unser Jr. will be the leader, followed by Michael Andretti, Bobby Rahal, and then Mauricio Gugelmin. Let's get an update from Gary.
Just an interesting sidelight regarding the PacWest cars. Gugelmin and Danny Sullivan. They're both Renard chassis, but they're running a last year Lola rear wing. It's a little less downforce. This is a low downforce street circuit, but that's an unusual combination. The Renard chassis, but a Lola rear wing on both of those cars.
The better straightaway speeds as we're getting ready. And the green flag comes out. Lap 33, we're back to racing. And looks like Villeneuve's got himself a problem. He was lined up right behind Gugelmin as they came back to green, and then he just pulled to the side.
Obviously, it's a power problem. The nice thing about it is it's such a good driver, that young man. You notice how he got clear out of the way so nobody would rear-end him. He really is a good thinking driver.
And Bobby, he was tied for second in the championship behind Paul Tracy. You see Rahal now. Rahal also tied for second in the championship. Now becomes, at this point in the race, the front runner. There's been quite a reshuffle in the championship standings as of right now.
So Gugelmin comes into third place. Rahal now runs in fourth. There they are, all right together.
Michael's really working hard on Little Al right now.
Rahal's 200th race here, as you pointed out, Paul, but he's never won it. He's been second 4 times.
And we go to full course yellow.
Oh, yellow, yellow, yellow.
Let's go down to the pits, Gary.
Yes. A very concerned crew on Team Green. The word from the radio, they suspect it's gearbox problems. That's the nemesis of Long Beach and so many of the street circuits. It was a problem in Australia. A 24th birthday has just hit a real sour note for Villeneuve, who was the winner in Miami.
He's in a very precarious position, and that's the reason for the yellow. I bet he's real glad to see it.
Oh, for sure. One of the things we have to remember about the transmissions, we tell everybody they have transmission problems. It's because they build up real light today, Paul.
So here are the top of the field after 35 laps. Al Unser Jr. is looking very strong. Will he be the king of the beach again? Let's see. At the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach, a record number of yellows now. We're in our 4th, and while they get Jacques Villeneuve off the track, the old record was 3 in '93. Now, driver Mauricio Gugelmin, he's gotten off to a strong start in this year. Currently 5th in the point standings. He is one of the most personable drivers on the circuit. He's glad to be racing in the Indy cars and proud to be a Brazilian.
Oi, eu sou Maurício Gugelmin. My dream at go-kart days was actually to be able to sit in an Indy car or a Formula 1 car, not to drive one. I mean, you're going to laugh about this, but Emerson was my biggest hero. I was only 10 when I first saw Emerson race, and now he considers me the old generation of Brazilian drivers. Don't forget, I did race 5 years in Formula 1. And the funny thing was that he asked to borrow my car. He went to the hotel. He got one ticket and he crashed my car. That's how I met him. I came to Indy cars because of the competition. It's all down to the last lap, and I want the viewers to be on the edge of their seats. I'm working to be one of the best of the Brazilians. I hope Emerson lets me do it. Don't say anything.
Mauricio Gugelmin, he's a great guy. There's the way they are lined up, and you can see Mauricio sitting there in 3rd place behind first Al Unser Jr. and then Michael Andretti. Is Al's day? Is it Michael's day? A lot of good stuff could happen here this afternoon. Bobby Rahal's 4th. Jimmy Vasser is now in 5th place. There comes Jimmy off the corner. And then Emerson Fittipaldi, then Christian Fittipaldi, his nephew. Then Eddie Cheever, driving for Foyt, Andre Ribeiro, and Teo Fabi. We should see a green flag here shortly. Here we go. We're back at it. Bobby?
You can see how hard Little Al worked to keep Michael behind him. This is where a pass could happen, of course, going down the first turn. Little Al really wants a little gap there, and of course, that's what he got.
But look at Gugelmin. As he tries to get outside of Michael, sweeps across the front, and Mauricio takes 2nd place.
Chopped him right off. Boy, that was the wrong thing for Gugelmin doing to Michael. I mean, he really cut. If Michael would have been stubborn, there would have been an accident right then and there.
But, Bobby, Michael's been very cautious in this race so far. Don't you agree?
Well, I think obviously right there, Sammy, he was very cautious. I've never seen Michael that cautious before.
Gugelmin got a terrific jump on him at the restart, and I think he knew his number was up. Also, the implications of the championship can't be lost on Michael. He went into this well back in 6th place in the championship with only 25 points. He really needs to take some points out, and with Tracy out of contention, he has a chance to do it.
Points are absolutely critical for a guy like Michael looking for a championship. EDS tells us that Bobby Rahal, that yellow and black car, now runs in 4th place. Jimmy Vasser is chasing him. Jimmy's had great runs all year. Look at them as they come around Gugelmin. Right rear tire.
Gugelmin lost the tire. He had a contact or ran over something.
And
it's so hard to tell.
Worst place on the race course, he's going to have to go all the way around with that.
But look what he's going to do to all the traffic, too. Boy, it's getting pretty skinny down there. Not a thing he can do. He can't stop and he can't accelerate. Robbie Gordon almost hit him right there.
You know, you can't forget that Paul Tracy had that happen not once but twice here. Still scored his first IndyCar win.
What a sad thing. He's got to go around this speed all the way around.
Almost 1.6 miles around this course, and it happened to him just as he was crossing the line. Now the leaders of the race.
You see Rahal there in that black and yellow car. Rahal has gone on the wagon for this season. Stopped drinking, lost 15 pounds.
And Christian Fittipaldi's gotten around his uncle.
I wonder what the field's like on that. Sam, you ought to know about that one.
Bobby Rahal, right behind him is Jimmy Vasser.
I don't mean to imply that Rahal was a drinker in any way to begin with. I'm just saying he stopped altogether.
Vasser now trying to worry Rahal. That battle is for third. Jimmy Vasser, tremendous racing experience. Let's go to Gary Gerould.
Problem, of course, on that right rear. It's already off the hub. They're making the change all the way around for Mauricio.
Any damage to the car, Gary?
I'm looking. I don't see any damage at this point. No, they're waving. There's a problem back there at the right rear. They're still up on the jacks. It looked like it was routine until just the final moments, but they can't get that tire on, so apparently there was some difficulty. Now they've got it on. They're waving him down off the jacks, and away he goes. It was just under 30 seconds.
Back Racing said had such a rough year last year. This year they've really got the cars going fast. Both drivers working good, but problems like this are really prevailing with them.
Well, we said it's starting so many surprises. Here's a guy moves into second place, looking so strong once again, looks so great at Miami, and then that happens to him. But not to forget the lessons of Paul Tracy. There's Jimmy Vasser as he continues his chase of Bobby Rahal.
You saw Rahal just go by. If the race ended right now, he'd be leading the championship with 44 points. Michael would be second with 41, and Al Jr. would have 33. He'd be third. So it's a big day for a lot of people that are new to the lead in the championship this year.
Paul Tracy would be fourth. Jacques Villeneuve would be in fifth place. You ride with Rahal. Let's just ride with him a bit here. Left rear. And again, this is in the first corner. He's going through two now. So Raul Boesel, who had a bit of a problem earlier and has not really been a contender here, has his left rear go. But is this predictive of something?
Well, here's what is probably happening. I doubt that these guys are hitting cars or walls with these flat tires. It's debris on the track. These tires, again, I want to tell everybody, they don't have inner tubes in them, as you can just see. They're a real thin tire. Even a little rock sometimes will puncture a small hole in them. Doesn't make any difference whether it's a Firestone or Goodyear. It's just one of the things that happens with these type of racing tires. They have to be very thin in order to keep the heat down. That's what makes them fast.
Quick check with race control. They don't think that there is any debris out there. But obviously they're going to... But wait a minute. What was that bouncing across the track?
But you see, debris cannot be seen just by eyes that are going around faster by cameras as we're looking at them. It just takes a little tiny rock or a bolt or a nut. That's all it takes to have a flat, and of course the tire just shreds to pieces, Paul.
And what race control does when they run into something like that is they pull the corner stations all around the track. Over 100 volunteers as course marshals here, and they check them. Can you see anything? They're right there, right at the edge, looking on the track. They're very good at it. They are volunteers, but they're every inch professional in the job they do here.
They are the very best. I know a lot of those people, and they take their work as serious as the race drivers do.
Battle continues on the track between these two, Christian and Emerson Fittipaldi, Jack Arute.
And one of the things that's happening, Paul, is Christian Fittipaldi is getting the better of his uncle, and I mean the better in terms of media. Christian sees all of the Brazilian TV and how much attention that they have paid to his uncle. Listen to what Christian is doing this week. He is wired up live to Brazilian TV and giving commentary from inside the cockpit.
Looks like a pretty busy day for him.
He, of course, is half Emerson's age, exactly, and has a tremendous future. He's tremendously popular.
Raul Boesel comes in to get that tire replaced, Jack.
And Paul, one of the things Bobby Unser alluded to, the fact that there's only 5/30 seconds of rubber on these tires. For the fan at home to try and figure out how much that is, take a quarter, hold it sideways. The width of the quarter is 5/30 seconds.
That's thin. Doesn't take much to puncture one of those, Jack.
Especially on your quarters, Bobby, because you keep them a long time.
I keep my quarters kind of thin.
Al Unser Jr. at Long Beach. We have come to know that this is the combination that dominates this race. It's unbelievable to see it happen again because the season had started so badly for little Al.
Top 5, Unser Jr. There is Jimmy Vasser. He had a problem. He was running in 4th. Just pulled in.